Well, folks, we're about ready to go check the marsh for our traps. And remember, if this series, however long it becomes, I don't know, 3-4 episodes, all we got to do is reach 100 total views. And anyone who comments and is subscribed to our channel, one of you are going to be in the drawing for a beaver pelt. A tan beaver pelt that I'm going to pull out of my own pile that I have decorating the Randy room. So come on along. Well, folks, yesterday we got a few traps set out. Dale asked me so many questions I didn't hardly get a chance to get any traps set.
Hey, it's the only way you're gonna learn.
That's right. So we're gonna walk out here. We got 5 of them around this bend here. I'll be honest with you, it's not looking good. I see the bait on most of our sticks there. I can tell we don't have one there because that water is so shallow it'd be floating if we had one there. Anything there?
Nope.
Nothing there, huh?
Nothing.
Well, this is not good, folks. This is our best favorite of all locations, and it hasn't even been disturbed. But the currents carried a bunch of weeds and debris in there. I'll volunteer Dale to jump down there and clean it off. Well, you guys should fire me. This is not good. My favorite of all sets. We don't even have a muskrat that came by.
I know.
If one came in here, we'd have caught him.
Yeah, good thing.
Or at least the trap would be sprung or the carrot would be gone.
Right.
Of these 5 sets, I only see 1 carrot missing.
Huh. Well, let's go check that 1 carrot.
That's not good. Easy there, killer. 0 for 2.
0 for 2. Oh.
That's just a bunch of hogwash. Well, Dale, I would say based on what I see floating and the fact there's no carrot on that stick,
Yeah?
I think we got one there.
Well,
I think. Oh yeah.
that's still 20% odds, right? So what's like the best way just to get
You
them
want
out
me
of
to?
there?
I'll show you on this one, and then you can do if we get another one. So got him on the hind leg, which means that he got all the way up on the trap platform before he got caught. Can you pull on him?
Yep.
So you want to dry him off right away. So what you do is you find some really fluffy snow. Because if you leave them all matted and wet,
Yeah.
the hair starts to flatten, and if you're selling them rather than making them into garments,
Yeah.
when they go to the fur buyer, if the hair's flat, you get a lot less for them. So right away you want to get this hair
It's fluffy and dried off.
and
Possible.
snow is the best thing to dry. It sounds kind of counterintuitive, right? That snow will dry it off.
Yeah.
But it does. So, beady-eyed little bugger. He's ate his last bank. Look how fat he is, though.
Yeah. He's really fat.
Yeah. And you see these front legs? How can a muskrat do that much damage? They seem pretty small. Well, you get augering in that mud with those long claws.
Yeah.
Doesn't take long. And this is a female. Big fat female. Been living good here in the creek. So like this is a really large muskrat.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it may not look like it, but relative to how they normally are, this is a
pretty big one, huh?
this is jumbo. So you look at how much fur there is underneath there.
Yeah.
And you see all those guard hairs. And then you see all that underneath there.
Yeah.
That's what keeps the water off their skin. So how much wood could a woodchuck chuck? Hey, you woodchuck, quit chucking my wood. No, not through the coil on the outside. There you go. It's okay. Yeah, maybe
A little
like
bit
a
deeper.
½ inch deeper.
Okay.
This spot here is like usually the killer spot. We should have
Well,
had
I mean, you said
5
that.
traps. We should have had 5, Randy. So one of the things you don't want to do, Dale, on cold weather days is lay any fur on a frozen surface.
Makes sense.
Because all these really rich guard hairs, which are what create the value of your fur, will freeze to that truck bed or whatever it is.
Gotcha.
So either bring a plastic bag or like I have a cardboard box here, or even that plastic tub there.
Right.
Something so that you don't freeze it, and then you pull it off and all the
It
guard
ripped
hairs stay
everything
frozen
out.
to the bed of your truck. So
Yeah.
look at that double front leg catch.
Yeah. That one's pretty good size, huh?
Yeah, another really nice rat. So that tells you something when you're catching mostly big adult rats, that they're probably not colonizing in here. So this is likely not year-round habitat for them. Look at this. This is the smaller one. Hind leg.
Yeah.
All right, we're missing one bait, I see for sure. What do we got, Dale?
It looks like it just sunk.
Huh?
It looks like it sunk.
No, we got one.
Oh, do it?
Yeah. We got a big one. Big Hank of the SKRATS community. That thing's almost a beaver. That is a great big one. Dang, we only got 4 out of 15 sets. I expected better, but oh well. We'll go set up here where it gets shallower and faster. We'll go set some travel sets.
Okay.
Needed more traps out.
It's 4 more than I've ever caught.
Okay. I love the optimist. But, wow, we got a couple more days of doing this, so we'll go set some travel sets up here. They're way different than what we're doing here, so it'll be like everything I showed you here, just park off to the side and get ready for a whole new idea.
Sounds good.
These are known as funnel traps or cage traps. You find where the muskrats are traveling and you set it in that travel corridor and you try to kind of funnel them in there. And they come in this way, and when they get to the other end, they can't get out. They end up climbing up this ramp.
Gotcha.
And so you get it that far under the water and you put like a little dive stick here to make sure they dive underneath that dive stick as quick as their lungs get rid of that air that it has. End of story.
Have you had pretty good luck with them?
It depends. You know, one of the things we're going to find out is, are there many muskrats traveling through here?
Right.
If you end up with no activity, it's like, well, either they're not traveling at all, or at least in this stretch, they're not traveling through. So if you look at how this lays out, if a muskrat is swimming down here, he's gonna clip those 2 points, that point, and either this point or that point.
Okay.
So we'll go down there and we'll look around and see which looks like the best spot. What we know is this is really shallow. So this is not a spot they're gonna hang out as their daily activity.
Right.
Because it's hard for them to get away from predators. But it's deeper up there and it's deeper down here, so they'll travel.
Gotcha.
Well, when they travel, for a couple of reasons, it's a stronger current here, and it exposes them to predators out here in the deep blue yonder.
Right.
So what they try to do is hug the bank. Well, what we have right here, you see this old root ball? See, there's the limbs of an old willow tree, or the roots. Yeah. And it extends out here. So what we can do is we can use that to our advantage, that by placing that trap
kind of in here,
right up against there.
Really tight.
So the downside we're going to be up against is now I see it's too shallow. So how do we make it deep enough that the trap will be fully submerged?
Just try to kind of.
Yeah. So now we know that the muskrat is either going to come downstream or upstream. So if he's coming downstream, how do we make sure that he can't go between the trap and this root ball? And then we're going to force them that if they're coming under, see this big shelf here? That can be the problem, is if you have too big of a shelf.
Yeah.
And in a perfect world, what we do is we just set it along a long channel. Like, looking at how much work we got to do to get that done, if we could find a deeper spot where we could just tuck it under something like this, that would be
even better.
Even better. You see there's a, right here, there's something that forces them, and right there, there's something that forces them.
Right.
So.
Well, and that way you could technically get up or downstream, right?
Exactly.
If they end up coming into here.
Yep.
You're gonna
so
catch them.
Sometimes you see your first spot and you're like, oh, that's a great spot. But then, like, we were having to do the sort of the 50-50 there.
Right.
Well, here, if we think they're going to be swimming this way, and with those other stakes, we can kind of force them in here.
Gotcha.
So I think we're better off to deepen that spot right there.
Okay.
And we'll find out if they're traveling here. So we want to make it deep enough so their beady little nose, when it comes, that looks perfect. If they're coming up or coming down, we got a pretty good chance here. So now what we can do is, with grass and other debris and stuff, we can almost force them in there. And with those stakes I brought, all you're trying to do is to get them to come to the angle you're hoping for. For me, when I've done these, it's mostly an experiment, or like I said, intel or recon about, are they going to be traveling through. Right now, you can see that there's no reason for them to have to dive.
Right.
Well, there's going to be here in a second. So on each end, you put something, if you can. Now they'll see that, and they're accustomed to just taking little dives, and that should do it. No scent, no lure. You're just counting on them doing what they prefer to do naturally, and hopefully you can find those spots where you can do it. There you go. So now we're 45 minutes from the office and we don't have any bait. Part of the mentoring situation. You put the guy in charge of bait, I guess that means you're not the master baitsman then,
That's
right?
true.
You thought I was gonna say something else. You got the carrots today, right?
Got some carrots.
You didn't forget the bait 2 days in a row. I don't think this spot is getting a lot of muskrat visitation. Well, Dale, one of the things we did is we set these two just to be a bit of an indicator of if the rats are traveling.
Right.
And they haven't even been disturbed. So we'll leave them there, but I think it tells us that the muskrats are not traveling at this point. So why don't we go down here and pull that muskrat out since you scared that bobcat off?
Huh?
I was checking the quotas filled. The quota, we have a quota here in this part of Montana and it filled January 7th, so we're 5 weeks late.
Gotcha. Oh well, you still got some
a young
cool
one
footage.
like that, even if I caught it in a cage trap, I'd just pull the lid and let it
There
out.
we go.
So while you were chasing that bobcat, I came down here and lifted that board and looked, and I saw two beady little eyes in there.
Nice.
So he was coming this direction. He's coming downstream.
Right.
And the idea was we knew that this point comes out here and he's gonna hug up along that point.
Right.
And we kind of put some brush here to say, all right, Mr. Muskrat, come down inside through that kind of, we left this tunnel right here.
Right.
And so when you pull that board off there,
I think
you'll see a muskrat.
All right. Looks like a muskrat to me.
He was flying down the creek, coming this way.
Mm-hmm.
He lifted that gate up, and when he got here, he ran out of air. He thought it was a light at the end of the tunnel, and there was a train coming at him. Scrap. Get all that silt and sediment off him. No bait on that, just knowing where they travel, knowing how they use the creek and why they use this part or that part. And kind of guiding them in there. And voila, you end up with a muskrat. Uh-oh. I think we got one right up here. We might have got a culprit right up here.
Ah.
Here, I'll hold his tail while you open the trap. You want to wash him off in there? There you go. Sorry, Dale, I only got 2.
It's okay.
4 the first day, 2 today.
6 total.
Yeah. Now you know how to trap muskrats. I'll give you a bunch of this gear.
Sounds good.
You can trap near your house, or if you want to wait a month before they, until they really start traveling, where that big ditch and creek is by your house, you'll have new muskrats coming by every day in early April.
Gotcha.
Every day.
Well, maybe I'll just try to trap a little bit now and try to hone my skills for March.
Okay. Cool. Well, folks, it's been a lot of fun. Tomorrow we're going to come out here. I'll pull these traps. Would love to just keep doing it and doing it and doing it, but the realities of life say that you can only play so many days a month. I think our next video we're going to show everybody how to deal with the hides and get them all ready so that you can wear them.
Right, clean these things up.
Yeah, so stay tuned for the next part of the series, folks. Thanks for watching.